Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of Linux for absolutely beginners. My name is Chia from DevOps Easy Learning, and today we'll be going through a package manager in Linux, right? And we are going to discuss about the app command and also the app package manager and the yum package manager. What is a package manager? Let's say on Windows operating system, if you want to download a software that we call also a program and install on your Windows operating system, you can go online and download something called the MSI package, right? And when you download that MSI package, it's just on what we call executable. And you can go ahead, double click that, and Windows is going to prompt you. Do you really want to do that? You say yes. And you go ahead and follow the prompt and install that. On Windows, you don't basically have that option. You don't have a GUI where you can download stuff and you double click and install, right? Instead of that, you need a package manager. And also with Windows, you can download stuff everywhere on the internet. But with Linux, it's not like that. When Linux have something called a repository, and that is why Linux is really, really secure. Why? Because Linux have something online called a repository. And when you want to install a program, Linux will go ahead and fetch that repository. Let's say you have a Linux server here, Linux will have something called a repository. And within this repository, the community are going to write all programs and store this into this repository, right? And this is very, very secure. They need to make sure that they check everything that is getting into here so that it won't have stuff like any malware and so on. And when you want to download a program in Linux, when you type, maybe you use a package manager and you give the program the name of the program that you want to download, then it will go ahead and fetch the repository to see if the program exists. Same thing, when you want to download an application and install in your Android or your Mac or maybe your Apple, what happens is that if you're using Apple, you are going to the Apple Store. If you're on Windows, you are going to the Windows Store, right? If you're on Android, you are going to the Play Store. If you go to the Play Store, you need to check and see if that app exists. If the app does not exist, you don't have it. Call that Play Store as a repository. Call that Apple Store as a repository. Call maybe the Microsoft Store as a repository. Same thing, Linux will have something like that, a repository where all the software that are really certified by the community are in there. And when you type, they use the yum package manager, it will go in there and try to fetch if the package exists, right? When you find it, it will go ahead and download it and install. If it does not find it, it will tell you that the package does not exist, right? And what will be the difference between a yum package manager and also the app package manager? Anything, if you're working on something which is like a Debian operating system, you will be using, if you are using maybe something like Ubuntu, you use a yum an app package manager, and anything that is like Red Hat, Ubuntu, CentOS, you'll be using a yum package manager, right? To basically download a program and install. That means before you download any program and install, you need to check if your operating system, it is like Red Hat based, or you need to make sure that you know that. Otherwise, when you type it, it will tell you that it's not able to do so. Today, we'll be using the app package manager because I'm kind of using Ubuntu operating system, and I will kind of show you guys how I can check and make sure that it is Ubuntu or not. Let me go ahead and kind of jump into one of our Linux servers here. I'm going to log in into server 4. Let me punch my password here. And the first thing that I'm going to do as I want to install packages, I'll first of all make sure if you say cat/et and go ahead here and so waka release, it's going to show me the operating system. As you guys can see here, I am using Ubuntu 22.04. As you can see, when I'm seeing here that it is 22.04, which is like anything that is Debian related, we'll be using the app package manager. And we know that under Debian, we have also Ubuntu. If you don't know this, we basically have a video in our playlist that we call Linux distro or Linux distribution. Please go through that thoroughly so that you can understand what I mean. What will be the difference between anything that is Red Hat based and what is under Red Hat, what is under Ubuntu, what might need an app package manager, and on which distribution you might need a package manager. Now, here we have a couple of packages. How can you install a package in Linux? Really simple. If you go ahead here and kind of check our little cheat sheet here, I have something here like a yum. We say yum install if we are using anything that is record based, and app install if you are using something that is Debian based. All right, I will say app install or app get install, and that's why here is just like when you want to install something in Windows, it's going to prompt you, do you really want to do this, yes or no? You say yes. Also on Linux, it's going to prompt you, do you really want to do this, yes or no? As you guys can see, most of the time why we want to do stuff, we want to automate. We don't even want to say yes or no. How are we going to answer that in Linux? We say app install -y. -y just mean, hey, do not ask me any question. Please go ahead and install what I ask you to do, right? Do not ask any question. Now, we're going to take one example here. We're going to install a couple of stuff. When you install a program, you say app install. You go ahead here and say -y and you say app remove. This command here is used to remove. This is used to install. And yum install -y or yum remove -y to kind of remove a program. I'll go ahead here. First of all, let me jump into my command line here. I have a little program here that if you tap through, it just kind of help me to visualize stuff here in Linux. Like if you kind of move if you want to visualize all these directories, everything that I have here, I can type this command called, it's a command in Linux called a tree command. And the tree command will go ahead and show me exactly what are the file structure here, right? And this is pretty cool. And it is just a program that we install. If you go ahead here and say apt app and say, I want to remove the tree command, if you remove this program called tree, and I don't want you to ask me a question if you want to remove, and that's why I'm going to put -r, all right? I basically have permission deny, and this is cool. Why? Because as a regular user, you won't be able to install or remove program. You basically need elevated privilege, and I basically use my root power, and right now I'm able to remove that. Let me go ahead again and tap that tree. As you guys can see now, that won't be able. I won't see that again. You will just say that is not found. How can I install that? I can use just apt. Oops. Apt install. I will say -y. Look, -y. I will not even put -y now, and I will go ahead here and put the 3. I need sudo. Oops, thinking that I'm working as a root. Sudo apt install. Wow, sudo. Oh, I miss oh here. Oops. Now, as you guys can see, there are some programs that will not prompt you. They won't ask you if you really want to do this or not, but some will ask you, do you really want to do that? You say yes. And if you want to avoid that, when you want to install, you make sure that you put -y. It doesn't matter where you put -y. You can put it at the end. You can put it maybe in the middle and so on. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to install something that is really cool, a little bit called a web server. Let's say I pull my Google, and if you go here, navigate here and open this my chat, this AI, and just say how to install, and I will say Apache on Ubuntu. It is a web server, Ubuntu, and I will go here and search, and I will basically just copy all the comments. As you guys can see here, it say go ahead and run sudo app update, and I'm going to copy just those commands, sudo app update, and I will follow the same second step. Go ahead and say sudo app install Apache 2, and it will go ahead. You can see here, do you really want to do that? If you don't want to do so, I just go ahead and type -y here. I don't want to answer any question, and I will move on. After that, I am going to start Apache 2 with the systemctl command. I'm just following exactly what is going on here. I'll go ahead here and start Apache 2. Let me go ahead here and start Apache 2, and let me go ahead and enable Apache 2. let me first of all enable Apache 2, and I will go ahead and check the status to see if it is running or not. Copy this, I hit here, and as you guys can see, it is running. And we call this thing called a daemon. This is what is basically keeping this server up. Let me go ahead here and check and copy the DNS of this server and go to the browser and see if you will be able to see the default page of Apache 2. If you hit this on the browser, I will be able to see the default page of Apache 2. As you guys can see here, this is basically the default page of Apache 2. And I can show you guys where this file is located. Let's see. Let me log in into this server again one more time, and I'm going to put here. And if you're a developer here, you can start writing your code here. It works. Default page of Apache 2, and this is just a package in Linux, right? Let me sudo -i. I'm going to move as a root, punch this, and I'll move to where I know that we usually put a web content in Apache 2. I can say cd in/var, and I say www and HTML, hit enter, and I'm going to see the index.html here. If you cut this index.html, this is everything that we're seeing on the browser. And right now, you can just tap ls. Let me go ahead here and empty everything here in index.html. That file is empty. And let me open that file vim index.html, and I can go ahead here and just type welcome to DevOps Easy Learning. Welcome to DevOps Easy Learning. Easy Learning. And I'll go ahead. Oops, I have a typo, but that is fine. I can correct it. I basically have a typo here with learning. Welcome to DevOps Easy Learning. Now, if you save this, I need lowercase here and go to my browser and refresh. You guys can see welcome to DevOps Easy Learning. That means so far here I can start building my website if I am a developer, right? Because that is just one web server on Linux, right? We basically use a package manager to install this. And let's say maybe we have if we have like maybe a web content somewhere, we can go ahead and put our web content down here, and we'll be able to host a web server. And I don't know if you have one example somewhere. Let me see. I have one example somewhere here. If you go ahead and kind of use the get here to grab all this content here, if you remove everything here like rm have an rf and star. I want to delete everything here and ls. As you guys can see, I can use a wget here to grab everything. And I can use the unzip command here. I can go ahead here and unzip this folder. It is just a static website that I basically downloaded this one from my S3 bucket. And ls here, as you guys can see here, I can go ahead and use the rm-rf and kind of remove this here and ls. I can go ahead here and copy everything like cp-r, and I want to copy everything that I have in here. That means I'm going to use a star, and I will say dot. That means you copy everything into that folder and drop it in here. As you guys can see here, we have our main index.html here that the web server will be looking. Now, if you go to the browser here and kind of refresh here, you guys will see that we have one entire website kind of up and running, right? As you guys can see, I was able to kind of host this little website here on this server 4, right? Now, the purpose of this video is not to basically know how to host a website in Apache. It's just to know how to install a package, right? And if you want to learn more about this, please let me know in the comment below, and I can go ahead and cook up a video and explain exactly how Apache works, how Apache works, how you can basically host your website here, and how you can manage Apache daemon, how you can troubleshoot all this, right? That's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please let me know in the comment below, and also please, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Thank you. Bye-bye.